Welcome to Coffee and Tarot with Mama T. My name is Teresa, and I am coming to you with a reading for a Sunday Oracle Soul Food reading. I am going to be off camera because honestly, I just don't want to put on makeup, and I'm past the point of looking cute without makeup. It's a challenge even with makeup. So, so I am going to spare you and just dig into the cards today, lighting a candle for us. And I will ring my witch's bells and call in spirit in a moment here. Just want to get these wicks started. Burn my fingers. Okay. We are ready to roll. So these are the cards that I'm going to use, and this is the general layout that I was thinking of, but we'll see what the cards have to say as we dig in. I don't really have a specific question. I just want to see what kind of story the cards tell us for the week. And I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, just see just see how things go. So I'm going to start with the Lantern Oracle as a card that will signify where we are right now as a collective. Spirit, can you give us a card here that will give us a card that represents where we're at and where things are right now, how we're feeling, our general energy. We'll start with that. We get transitions. You have all of the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. So that's where we're at for the collective. Our general energy as of today, Sunday, November 9th. Let's see. We're going to use a couple of these cards. These are the Wild Unknown. This is the Alchemy deck, I think. Yeah, this is the Wild Unknown Alchemy. And thought we could get a card for I'm not sure what these will represent. Let's just have Spirit give us a couple of cards, one above the situation and one below. They could be our, what we're consciously working on and maybe unconsciously working on and building, and what methods of alchemy we need to be working on for these things. So let's see what we get. So what are we consciously working on, Spirit, and what alchemical process should we be following for those conscious desires? We get Chiron. Okay, we'll look up that in a little bit here. And then what's going on with us in our subconscious or unconscious, our unconscious desires, and what alchemical process is at play with that? Autumn, that goes really well with transitions and also the time of year that we are in here in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, we'll look that up in a moment. And then I wanted to get 3 of these cards. This is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. I wanted to get 3 of these cards for things to let's see, things for us to focus on this week. Three thoughts or areas of focus or concepts that may be helpful for us or things to watch for this week. What do you have for us, Spirit? Friction. I think with Mercury retrograde, that makes sense. Just with my idea of the word, but we'll look it up in the guidebook in a moment. Emptiness. What else do we have, Spirit? Funny that both of them have that dark green background. These cards are kind of colorful and have different kinds of colors. Teachers. Okay. Look all of those up in a moment. Then, any symbols we should be watching for this week? We have 11/11 portal happening on Tuesday. And I am going to post an 11/11 reading for that, for the collective. So that's one of the symbols to be watching for. What else do we have? Knowledge. I like that. And then we'll get one of these too. This is from the Prism Oracle. And sometimes this will just give us an idea of a color to focus on this week. It does have keywords on it. So the keyword may play into it, but the color, this particular oracle, the colors are extremely important. So this might be a color that you choose to include in your wardrobe this week. Something you watch for as a sign or, confirmation that Spirit is confirming some aspect of this reading for you. Well, we had 3 things pop out. I wasn't planning on doing 3 cards, but they all popped out. We have balance, frustration, and trust. So green, brown, and blue are colors. Look at all of those. And then this one, I'm not sure what this one is going to mean or what aspect this is going to have to play for us. I keep trying to include this deck into my readings because I like it. But I find it challenging to read intuitively. And so I'm just not sure if it'll remain a part of my regular practice, but I keep wanting to give it a chance just because I really, there's just something about it that I really like. What do we have from this deck, Spirit? And I did confirm with my pendulum that these were the decks that I used my dice to select my decks like I always do. And then, and I asked the dice, how many decks do we need? And then I used my pendulum to confirm that all of the decks were the correct ones. And I got affirmative on that too. So I am supposed to include this card, but we'll see what comes up. Earth of Earth. Ground of Being. That, I like that. I'm glad that a card that sort of resonates with me where I'm at right now popped out, so hopefully it'll resonate with you too. Okay, one final card, and this will be from the Citadel, and this is going to be who should we who are we becoming this week? Or, well, let's see what the cards have to say. And we'll see. This is kind of a reading where the story just sort of reveals itself, because I didn't have like a specific question for each card, and it's not like from a specific spread. I'm just sort of following the guidance of spirit on this, and letting the story build itself as it goes. So we'll see. Okay, one of these cards, Spirit, for maybe who we should be becoming this week. Who should we be watching for? Who should we embody? It's popping out. So. The Priest, perseverance and faith. Okay. So let's dig into the meaning on these cards and see what emerges. Okay, let's start with transitions and where we're at right now. Just checking the time. I have all of my little guidebooks right here. So the Lantern, this is from the Lantern Oracle. And the number 37 card tells us transitions bridge our life from one significant change to another. They are the periods between one way, phase, or chapter in life and the next. As interims that follow turning points of no return, they bookmark the times that we have had to figure out how to make our life work again. Transitioning takes as long as it takes to adapt to new circumstances or perspectives. The tension of not being able to turn back and not knowing how to adjust effectively to what is new can be disconcerting. So tension and friction, maybe that friction card will play into that kind of dynamic here. Until we figure out how all that is new to us works and reconcile ourselves with it, it can be difficult to trust others as well as ourselves. Let me see here. These can be raw and unstable periods that require time and patience to adjust and recalibrate. Trying to go back is an illusory trap that would be best to avoid. That's what I've been saying about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde comes up frequently. The idea of going back or returning to something, or some person from the past coming back and trying to reinsert themselves into our lives. That's a very common theme of Mercury retrograde periods, which we're in right now. And it is, as this book says, That's an illusory trap. Try to avoid that. To complete the process of transition, you must choose to leave and let go of what was. So, and then the crone's message here is transitions are the blessings rarely recognized as such at the time. You know, frequently people talk about transitory periods of their life, and as they look back on it, that old phrase, hindsight is 2020, comes to mind, where people say, oh, it was a terrible time while I was going through it, but now when I look back on it, it was one of those pivotal moments in my life that really turned me into the person that I am now. So, okay, that's the period, that's kind of what we're embodying right now. Okay, let's look at the alchemical influences that we have here. Let's see what these have to say. This guidebook, that lantern guidebook, I didn't read the whole thing because there is so much on there, and I do want to keep this video to a kind of a reasonable length of time. And the same is true of this guidebook. This guidebook is, I can't recommend this deck enough. There's so much in it. But let's look at what we have here. So the first one is Chiron. This is a cosmic enigma. In Greek mythology, he's said to be the rejected son of Saturn, who, through the pain of abandonment, becomes a great teacher and healer. Such is the paradoxical nature of this minor planet. It demonstrates that our pain is a great resource. It will guide us to our deepest purpose if we're able to observe it slowly, gently, and with support. When the Chiron card appears, know that you're being called to deepen the work, to delve into the tender parts of yourself that require patience and forgiveness. Victim mentality will get you nowhere. You're past blaming. It's time to let your painful experiences serve as a beacon of light to others. Chiron reminds us to go where we've been and where that allows us to go. It reminds us of where we've been and where that allows us to go. So to go deeper on this concept, it says here to read the myth of Chiron and to ponder the story of your scar, whatever that is. Depersonalize your pain by thinking of a person you love and admire. Contemplate their story. How have their wounds served their deeper purpose? Chiron is a symbol of betwixt and between, half man, half horse, neither a planet nor a star, both wounded and healed. In what ways are you paradoxical? Is this part of your strength? I know that's very tiny type to try to read, but that's what's in there. And the keywords here are wounds, teachings, and paradoxes. That fits right in with this transitions card, doesn't it? Oh, I was going to look at autumns. So this is a 19 card. The culmination, the broad view, and generosity. In alchemical terms, autumn is it's a French word, I can't pronounce it. It's Earth's grand narrative. It is the symbol of culmination, harvesting, and resolution. The story of our year finds closure, and we begin to look toward the horizons of the next one. It is likely this card will appear as an indicator of efforts culminating, of hard work paying off, of fruit hanging low for the taking. Gratitude and generosity are the spirit of the season, so share the wealth of your fortune. Looking back, you realize many hands and hearts have helped you along the way. Holding tight to your bounty won't do you any good. The alchemist shares their wisdom and wealth. They offer their boons back to the world as part of the ongoing cycle. Be like an autumnal tree, come to fruition and then release. I love that. Okay. And then it says to go deeper, donate. Any amount will do. And to ponder, active generosity. All right. Now, Let's look at these cards here. I'm curious about this friction and emptiness. I think these are going to be good. I love this is a new oracle for me, and I've been using it pretty frequently. Friction. If you are irritated by every rub, how will your mirror be polished? That's Rumi. A Rumi quote. The Buddha often spoke of how our mental fetters or attachments are the source of human plight of suffering, shackling us to the infinite phases of life, birth, death, and rebirth. This ongoing cycle, which is called samsara in Hindu and Buddhist tradition, spins the human soul through rotations of lives and lessons which are meant to aid us on our quest toward enlightenment. Each transmigration and transformation of life is a piece of a greater puzzle, fitting together what is yet to be resolved through revolution and greater resolution. Each reincarnation is a response to how we've imprinted time with our choices. The goal is to merge with Nirvana as we expel the mistakes of our past and path and exorcise our inner demons. We're here on this earth experiencing our unique, precious lives for purposes that at times can be a puzzle with an infinite number of pieces that seem challenging to piece together. And then emptiness. We mold clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. Oh my gosh, I love that quote. That's Lao Tzu from the Tao Te Ching. How can we even remotely begin to fathom emptiness, a space free of judgment, sensory stimulation, and extrapolations of what is? Simply contemplating emptiness opens a space that can be filled with thoughts, ideas, and calculations of what the void contains. I remember as a kid, my brother and I used to do this. Shockingly enough, this is, we were latchkey kids growing up in the 70s, and back then there was, when it came to TV, I mean, we had a little tiny TV. You had to walk across the room, turn the channel. The knob had broken off, and so we had channel locks stuck on the TV that we used to to change the channel with. We did not have an internet. There was no internet back then. We had an encyclopedia, and we were voracious consumers of the information there. We read every single book that came into the house, regardless of whether it was age appropriate or not. I mean, I was reading the Shogun series when I was 11 years old. And I mean, we whiled away the hours. But we often talked about emptiness, and we would sit on our couch and say, okay, let's imagine nothing. Where is nothing? Let's the edge of space. Let's talk about the edge of space. And we would sort of meditate and try to imagine the emptiness and the vastness of space, what nothing looked like, all of that stuff. And we had no idea we were, practicing Zen Buddhism, but but we were. Anyway, yeah, that the idea of emptiness, when you try to contemplate it, it becomes, as soon as you start to grasp it, something fills it. And that can be very much like how we feel at times. Okay, let's look at teachers. I wonder if my brother remembers that. I'll have to ask him. Okay, teachers. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. And this is from Khalil Gibran from Sand and Foam. Not all teachers have classrooms. And some of life's great lessons can come from friends, unexpected moments in time, synchronicities, people you may not agree with or like, and even perfect strangers on the street. So much of my spiritual perspective lately has come from teachers I do not care for. How about you? Well, this week we may have the opportunity to encounter more teachers, but let's try to find the ones that we like. Just be observant and watch for them. Watch for the lessons as they come up. Okay, let's move on to the Sacred Symbols Oracle. This symbol of knowledge. It's the number 34 card. So far we've got an 11 card, 37, 19. This one's 34 for the ones that are numbered. Knowledge. Remain teachable. That goes with this teacher's one. Remain teachable. There is wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. It can also signify the presence of an important teacher. Trying to get these cards together. I lost my spot now. Sorry. Or perhaps you are the teacher and it is time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. Drawing this card can also indicate a message from your Akashic records. Seek out more information about the records, or even perhaps learn how to access your own records for more clarity regarding your query. Meditate on this to learn new things or to draw the right teachers into your life. Okay, so this is a week of knowledge that we can gain, and we are to watch for and ask for the right teachers to teach us. Hopefully ones we like. Okay, let's look at these Prism cards real quick. See what they have to tell us. Balance, trust, and frustration. So I think these are separated by color. Green is a color of relaxation, bounty, and love. Green cards in a reading, and we do have quite a bit of green here, signifies an opportunity for renewal, whether through gratitude for abundance, movement on a new project, or rest. Let this time be easy and relaxed. Let things unfold and grow as they need to. And balance, this card refers to the need to look at areas in your life that may need a little balancing. For example, sometimes outside sources can demand our full attention and allow little time for ourselves. How can you allow more balance in your life, and what do you need to do to achieve it? I've had the repeating line from a song of Taylor Swift's on her new album. It has been in my head for, I don't know, a week. And I don't remember the title of it. I'll look it up and post it in here. I'll either put it in the description or I'll put a little, sticker in here on the video. And it's from her new album, the whatever it is, something of a showgirl. I don't remember. I'm a huge fan, and I pre-ordered the album on vinyl and CD, and one of her sweaters, and I have all a bunch of her old merch and stuff. I just really like her as a person. Anyway, the lyric that has been repeating in my head is, "We tell the world to leave us the F alone, and they do. Wow." That's the line. And I mean, she says the F word in there, but I'll delete it out. And it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating in my mind. And so obviously there's something within me wanting me to tell the world to leave me the F alone. And if I do tell the world to leave me the F alone, they will. And I may need that with this balance. I may need to be saying no a little bit more. Okay. The next card we have is Trust, and that came up with one of these other cards. Trust is a blue card. So let's get to that. Blue is a primary color. It's associated with logic, honesty, trust, and communication. They celebrated the color, ancient Egyptians celebrated the color, creating the first synthetic blue pigment. Has religious significance. It's connected to the water element and can feel cleansing, both physically and spiritually. Blue light can wash away feelings of sadness, and it's often used as a treatment for seasonal affective disorder. Blue cards in a reading, and we have a little bit of blue here. It's a signal to honor the preciousness of this transitional time. It does hearken to this transitional card here, because there is some blue here. And then the blue cards tend to have a tendency to have something to do with crossing some sort of threshold, surrender to the flow. And the Trust card says, when this card comes up in a reading, it's a sign to start trusting yourself. We often seek advice from outside sources and people we trust. The reality, though, is that most of the time, deep down inside, you know what you need to do. Have the confidence to trust in yourself and your own sense of self-governance. Ultimately, you can make your own decisions. All right, let's finish with Frustration. And that is, I would call that brown, but they may have it under orange. Yep, they do. They have it under orange. I guess it's a burnt orange. Orange combines the fiery energy of red with the optimism of yellow. Like a sunrise signaling a new day or a burst of citrus, it can elicit feelings of warmth, happiness, and high energy. Working with orange color in magic can help curb procrastination, giving you a boost of energy in order to move forward with your goals. That's good to know. I'm a terrible procrastinator. Okay, orange cards in a reading. If mostly orange cards come up during a multi-card reading, it's a sign to really tap into joy and playfulness during this period in your life. We do have a little bit of orange coming in, a little bit of orange here. This is mostly red and yellow, but this one definitely has orange. And then this gold color could be orange. All right, and the Frustration card says, for some reason, despite all your best efforts, you aren't able to achieve what you're working toward, and that's frustrating. Instead of getting angry or disappointed, take a step back or break from whatever is going on. What are some alternative approaches to the situation? Is there a solution you haven't tried yet? Would a new perspective help you find a solution? So that's a good reminder, especially during Mercury retrograde. It's a good time to reevaluate things and look back at, what's effective, what's been effective, what hasn't been effective, in order to help bring projects to completion. So, all right, now let's look at the Priest Oracle from the Citadel. And the Priest, this just came up in a reading that I was watching from 13 Moons. Let's see here. 13 Moons Tarot here on YouTube. This was a card that was featured in one of her readings recently. Okay, so the Priest card says, silence fills the temple, warm and welcoming in its perfect hush. The priest turns their face to the sunlight, waiting for the gathering of the faithful. No matter what challenges are in the priest's life outside of these walls, there is hope to be found in every challenging situation. They just need the courage to persevere, and will let that hope, will that hope into existence. So a difficult challenge has come and gone, and in its place is the promise of a new dawn. Within you is everything you need to bring about your own happiness. You are resilient, and every tragedy brings an important lesson. Have faith, and you will be rewarded. Very good. Okay, we're going to finish up with the Earth of Earth card, Ground of Being. Now this deck this book is kind of hard to find things in, so I may have to pause to let's get to the Earth of Earth. Here we are. Okay, Earth of Earth. As the earth energies meet themselves, an undeniable potency of presence is revealed to permeate. The inquiry here on this card is, what power am I not seeing because it is so obvious? Okay, so there is a sense of time that is expanded far beyond the usual fixation, seeing the rise and fall and rising again of the mountains of existence in geological cosmic time. Though things change, this remains. This card points to both that which is noticeable and that which is so ubiquitous as to be unnoticed. So meditation here is, I sit before and as this great mountain of existence, and I feel into its depth as itself so. I don't like the way they write here in this, obviously. I am made of this continuous presence, the same ground from which all things arise. Relaxing into the discovery, I let my mind wander, for it too, every thought is made of the same power. All that is this: to empower myself is to open to that which I have always been. Okay, very good. So just kind of grounding into your being, recognizing what is changing right before your very eyes, and what is changing so slowly as to be geological in nature. And that can feel, transitions can feel that way. So, all right. Well, that is our reading for our Sunday Oracle Soul Food. I hope there was something in here that helped you to get ready for the week ahead, see things that you can look forward to, understand where you're at, and how to interact with the world around you, and what to be watching for with these knowledge and teachers, how to fill any emptiness or deal with any friction that we have coming up. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up on your way out. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would join in. I was able to do a free reading to celebrate my first 100 subscribers. I did that over the weekend, and it was so much fun. I want to do it again. And so I would love to see this channel continue to grow. So if you'd like to subscribe, please do so. And if you think you know somebody who would like this type of content, feel free to share this video with them. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Take care. Bye now.